It is finally happening. Mr. Beast is finally addressing the controversy. And let me tell you, things have just gotten a lot more interesting.
This is like legal now.
It is. I could go to jail.
As we all know, Mr. Beast has been involved in quite the controversy over the last few months. But after months of waiting, we finally have a response from him. And this response has come in the form of an interview with another YouTuber called Oompaville. And this response was very good. It covered a lot of the key points in the controversy. However, the video was over 2 hours long. So in this video, I plan to objectively summarize that video. That way, even people who don't want to watch the full 2 hours can still formulate their opinion around this entire controversy. Also, videos will be linked in the description providing more information about the entire controversy, so if you have any questions you can watch those. That includes the entire interview with Mr. Beast. Anyways, without any further ado, let's hop right in. Alright, first things first, why did it take Mr. Beast so unbelievably long to respond? Well, as soon as the controversies came out, Mr. Beast launched an external investigation on him and his company. The people running the investigation advised Mr. Beast not to respond to any of the controversy until the investigation was complete. Even after the investigation was completed, however, it still took Mr. Beast a little while to respond. This is likely due to him and his team struggling to find a way to properly talk about everything, because just sitting in front of a camera isn't necessarily his style. Eventually they settled on an interview, which does actually make a lot of sense, but it took a while to formulate that. But now let's jump right into the actual controversy. Everything around Mr. Beast was originally sparked by a creator named Dogpack. Dogpack is an ex-employee of Mr. Beast and a whistleblower for all the controversies. He blew the whistle in a form of a number of videos. However, Mr. Beast goes on in the interview to say that these videos were slanderous, and there was a lot of information that he intentionally made up, knew was incorrect, and still presented as fact. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, Dogpack's original video will be linked in the description, as well as a video by a YouTuber named Soggy, who goes on to disprove a lot of the allegations presented in that video. The next big thing talked about in the video was the investigation. As said before, Mr. Beast launched a full-fledged investigation after the controversies came out. This investigation was done on Mr. Beast's company and was fully external, meaning Mr. Beast did not launch an investigation on himself. He hired people to investigate him. People who were legally obligated to report anything that was illegal. That means that there is no way that Mr. Beast could have hidden anything that came up in the investigation. Every part of the investigation is or will become public. Now let's move on to some HR issues. People, including Dogpack, have brought up HR issues as a controversial topic around Mr. Beast. In response, Jimmy said that since his company is so large, of course there is going to be HR issues. He also goes on to state that him and his company do their absolute best to try not to foster these issues and try and get employees to report these issues so that they can fix them as soon as possible. Another controversial topic surrounding Mr. Beast is the no does not mean no policy. This is a policy that has been taken from Mr. Beast's employee handbook. And while yes, it does sound bad, it is not meant in a bad way. All they mean by this policy is that if someone says no, something is not possible to do, to just simply negotiate it and figure out a way that it is possible. An example that is given in one of the videos is that when they were filming their in the air obstacle course, they needed a bunch of cranes to lift the obstacle course into the air, and originally a lot of the crane companies said no, we can't do that, like we're renting out the cranes and stuff. And instead of taking no for an answer, the employees are supposed to negotiate and figure out a way that they can make it happen. Again, this is a policy inside the employee handbook, but it is not meant in a weird or a sexual way at all. Alright, now we're going to move on to CGI. CGI has been used in Mr. Beast's videos in the past, however, it has only been used for slight touch-ups or set extension or something small like that. It has never been used in his videos to skew things or make things unauthentic, or at least that's what he says. Alright, now let's take a look at possibly rigged competitions. As we all know, Mr. Beast is known for his huge competitions. Some of his biggest videos involve putting a bunch of people in a circle and see who stays there the longest. However, some people have alleged that these competitions are faked by Mr. Beast putting in employees or friends into the competitions and rigging them. He attempts to disprove this by giving one example of a video called 100 Boys versus 100 Girls. For this video to work, there would need to be 200 people on set. However, some people came down down with COVID, so he had to throw in some employees and his girlfriend and a number of other people he knew into the challenge so that he could still continue to make the video. He says that everyone put into this competition still had the exact same chance as everyone else, so it wasn't unfair. However, it is good to note that he never touched on the Mac situation, which was a series of videos where one of his employees was literally in it, and it looked like that employee was drawing out suspense. So if anyone on the MrBeast team or MrBeast is watching this for some reason, just some clarification about this whole system would be nice. But anyways, let's hop right into the illegal lotteries. Dogpack, the original whistleblower, gave 3 examples of alleged illegal lotteries, 2 of which have already been proven wrong by Soggy's video, link in the description, and one of them is still being investigated by the MrBeast team. MrBeast says he never intended to make an illegal lottery, however there are still refunds available for anyone who might want one. Oh, and while we're on the topic of Dogpack, let's talk about if MrBeast will sue Dogpack or not. The answer to whether MrBeast will sue Dogpack or not is yes, probably. They are apparently drafting a lawsuit at this moment. Also, it's important to note that there is a cease and desist posted on Dogpack's channel, so it is still good to take everything that Dogpack says with a grain of salt, so there's a chance that the cease and desist may be real, and there's a chance it may be fake. I'm not sure. The reason why Jimmy has a case in suing Dogpack is for slander. If you deep dive into Dogpack's videos, it's very apparent that he's saying things that he knows are not true and presenting them as fact, which is literally the definition of slander. Alright, to move on from that, let's talk about the Lunchly situation. Lunchly is a snack brand that was launched by MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul, and people have been saying they've been finding mold in their cheese in their Lunchly. While this may be a little bit concerning, it is important to note that there has been no official recalls of Lunchly. Any recalls that you might see are completely fake. One thing that I will say that they didn't address about Lunchly is the fact that it's advertised as health food, and it's really not healthy. It's definitely healthier than the competitors, but it's still not health food. So it would also be really interesting to hear a response about that. Another allegation presented by Dogpack is that Jimmy hired a registered sex offender. However, it is important to note that Jimmy was 19 at the time and had no idea how to run a company. So the fact that he forgot to do a background check is honestly pretty reasonable. Alright, now let's move on to the Beast games. There has been some serious allegations and lawsuits around the Beast game. Some of the contestants of the Beast games came together and sued Jimmy and Amazon for a number of reasons which are not public yet. Jimmy says there's a lot of disinformation surrounding the Beast games and that a lot of the allegations are false. He can't go into too much detail because it is an active lawsuit. Alright, now let's talk about Ava Tyson. Ava Tyson was one of the most prominent employees of MrBeast, often being by his side during a lot of videos. There is a lot of allegations surrounding Ava Tyson for things like pedophilia, but the one that they covered is the Shadman situation. Shadman is a horrible, disgusting artist who specializes in CP. In the early days of the MrBeast channel, there was a Shadman drawing depicting an underage girl on the wall of Ava Tyson's home. MrBeast says he was aware of the drawing on Ava Tyson's wall, but he was unaware of the artist. He also says that if he knew what it was, he would have definitely confronted Ava Tyson about it. And that concludes the summary of MrBeast's response. Also, this is a summary, so it doesn't necessarily cover everything talked about in that interview, so I would highly encourage you to go check out the interview and at least just watch a little bit of it. 2 things that I would love MrBeast to respond to is the entire Mac situation and also the fact that Lunchly is advertised as a health food. If you have any questions about the entire situation, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll answer them as best as I can. And also there is a bunch of great videos about the entire situation in the description. Bye!